Good morning, students. Today I would like to just clear the doubt with respect to the ID method which was taught by Naveen Reddy in a video under Python. First he discussed A is equal to 10, then he said B is equal to A, and he was looking for the ID of A and ID of B, and he found it to be the same. So as shown here in this slide, you can see that A and B both are pointing to the same location, and you see the address on top 1947269184 when I was working. So this is pointing to one location. It is pointing to one location because of the statement B is equal to A. First you assign 10 to A and you say B is equal to A. So in Python everything is an object. Now you all know what's an object because object oriented programming C++ is already over. Object means it is a reference variable. It's a reference data. So when you talk about reference, that means you are playing with addresses. You are playing with the memory addresses. You are playing with the location. So here when you say B is equal to A, B is also pointing to the location where A is pointing to. That is what you have to understand actually. That's why when you go for ID, you get the same address because it is pointing to the same location. Now if you see to the other side, A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10. Here also, though you have written it as two statements, what have we studied in C? When you say A is equal to 10, there is a location created, it is named as A and it has 10 in it. And when B is equal to 10, what have you studied? There is another location created that also has the value 10, but it is named B. That is what we have studied in C also. Now that's what happens in all the languages. Okay, but in Python, what happens is, this is something you should know. You see the slide, for small integers and strings. Small integer, what they are trying to say is, so for small integers, what Python does is, it uses optimization technique. Now what is that optimization technique Python uses is, since in any variable that is used in Python is a reference to an object in the memory, Python puts such small values once in the memory, and if that value is referred by another variable, it will make that variable also point to this value. So that means if A is equal to 10, so 10 is already in the memory, so there is a variable pointing to 10. Now this is there in the memory, and if B also wants to store 10, it will not create another location because already in memory 10 is there, A is pointing to 10, and in memory already 10 is there, then why create another copy of 10? So it will make B also point to 10. So this is the optimization technique Python uses if it is small integers and characters and strings. Small integers and characters and strings. So it's not only for small integers, for characters also. I'll show you that in the upcoming slides. So so this is working for, why this is working for integers and characters and strings is because it is immutable. What is meant by immutable? You cannot change the value which is already present. Mutable means you can change the value. That is what is the difference between immutable and mutable. As of now, you only understand immutable means you can change, you cannot change. Mutable means you can change. Only this much you understand now. Later I will tell you in detail what it is. We will be studying that. Or you will be studying in the upcoming videos what is mutable, what is not mutable. Okay. So as I said, if it's for small numbers, small integer numbers, you get to see the same location. Now you see this slide. A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B is also equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you try to get the ID. It is in two different locations. So hope the point that I said is matching this. So, but B is equal to A, it is the same thing. When you say B is equal to A, B will also point to, now B will point to the A's location. Now if you try to print the ID of A and B, it will be same. Always you must remember, by default or blindly, please register this in your mind. The moment you say a variable is equal to another variable, and if the RHS variable is already having a value, then the LHS will only point to the location of RHS. Wherever RHS variable is pointing to, the same location the LHS variable also point to. This is by default. This you register in mind. So when you say something equal to something, some variable is equal to some variable, then the IDs will be same. Okay, so that is by default. So hope there is no confusion regarding that. Now you try to get the ID of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you try to get the ID of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get the latest copy. The latest copy is copies address you get. So you see in the figure, the latest copy's address is what? 53812768. So that is what you will get to see. Okay. So this is how it. So this is what I said. It works for small integers and not for large integers. So here you see, this is for character. You get to see the A is equal to A, B is equal to A, ID of A. You get to see the same ID. Even when you take the content, you get to see the same ID. So when you take a larger integer, when you take the content, that means the data, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was your data. For larger integers, you don't get the same ID, but for larger integers, you don't get the same ID. In the sense, what I meant is the latest copy is being seen, the latest ID is being, the latest address is being seen. But for smaller integers, you get the same ID as what you get for the variable. Okay, and here you see strings. A is equal to A, B, C, B is equal to A, B, C. So even for this ID works exactly the same. Now what happens with floating point numbers? So what happens here is, when you say A is equal to 12.3, B is equal to 12.3, you see the ID is different. ID of A is different, ID of B is different. But when you say B is equal to A, the ID is same. So this is what I want you all to be very clear, that when it is a variable is equal to another variable, the IDs will be same because it's pointing to the same location. And now when you type ID of 12.3, it is another address. Okay, you get to see three different addresses. For A you get to see one address, for B you get to see another address, and for the actual data 12.3 you get to see another address. So what's happening here? So there is a very big story behind this, or a fact which we are all unaware of. So I am attaching the link from where I referred to this particular matter. I am explaining it here also. Also, I am attaching the link. Okay, may you refer to that. So we'll discuss about the issues and limitations of floating point arithmetic. When I finish discussing this, you will understand why the IDs are different. When you say A is equal to 12.3 and B is equal to 12.3, and when you try to print ID of A and B, you get to see different locations. Now, why that's happening, it will be very clear by the time I finish this discussion. So any floating point number in the computer hardware is stored as base 2. That's nothing but binary, which we all know. So let's take an example, say a decimal fraction 0.125, which is got as seen here by 1 by 10 plus 2 by 100 plus 5 by 1000. In the same way, when you go for the binary fraction, 0.001. How is that done? It is 0 by 2 plus 0 by 4 plus 1 by 8. Or maybe you would have studied as 0 into 2 power minus 1 plus 0 into 2 power minus 2 plus 1 into 2 power minus 3. That's what you would have studied maybe. Or maybe you would have studied as senior 0 by 2 plus 0 by 4 plus 1 by 8. Hope it's very clear. Now these two fractions, they have identical values, but the actual difference is only that one is represented in the form of a decimal number, that is base 10, and the other is represented in the form of binary, that is base 2. Now most of the decimal fractions cannot be represented in their exact binary fractions. This is something true with respect to the binary representation of decimal fractions. So, but we have to represent it for the machine to understand. So, the decimal floating point numbers that we enter, the decimal floating point number that we enter into the system are only approximated by the binary floating point number. So what does this mean? You are entering a number, for example, you are entering a number 1 by 10. You are entering a number 1 by 10. Then how is it represented in binary? Do you see the very last part of the slide? You see there 0.00110011011, it goes on and on and on. It's not stopping. I have written dot. You don't see a full stop there. So what happens is, when you are trying to store a floating point number in the system, it is converted to binary fraction. It is trying to convert, but it is going on and on and on. So then an approximation or an approximate value is stored in the system, in the computer system. You can also see a decimal fraction. You see there, consider a fraction 1 by 3. We are talking about base 10, that is decimal fraction. So which is better? 0.3 is better, or 0.33 is better, or 0.333 is better, or 0.3333 is better. So how much ever we add the 3's after the decimal point, as we go on adding the number of 3's, it is better approximation that you will reach for the fraction 1 by 3. This is something we all know. So it is the same when you are trying to go for when you are trying to convert a decimal number to a fractional number, when you are trying to convert a decimal number into a binary number. So here we are talking about fractions. Okay, we are talking about fractions. When it is an integer part, there is no doubt for us. But when it is a fraction part, it really matters. Okay. So also you can see the decimal value 0.1, which I just discussed. This 0.1. So that is, you are trying to store 1 by 10, and you get to see how it is, how many decimals are being created in the binary form. So this is one thing, it's a fact with respect to the computer system. Now you take the case of Python. We are talking about Python, we are bothered about Python. Okay. So Python, there are 53 bits of precision available. Now what do you mean by 53 bits of precision? So you know, any floating point number, if it's a very large number or if it's a very small number, it is represented in the exponent form. There is an e added. Okay. So if it's a very large number also, even if it's a very small number, that is, it is represented in the exponent form. So when you talk about the exponent form, that is you call it as mantissa and exponent. So the mantissa will always be in it will be a small number, and you have the exponent which is represented in the form of e, and then you have the fraction, which is usually represented as 10 power. Okay, so this 10 power, you can have 53 bits of precision. In the case of Python, they use 53 bits of precision. So that's why you get to see the decimal number 0.1. The decimal number is 0.1, and it is seen in binary as this big number. Okay, so because of 53, if you have patience, you can sit and count. Maybe it goes to 53. Okay, which is close to but not exactly equal to 1 by 10. This number that you see in binary is close to 1 by 10. It is not exactly equal to 1 by 10. Okay, so I have given more examples. Suppose you try to print 2.675. So if you want to see the actual decimal, how it is stored in the computer system, Python has a module called decimal. So you have there is a small d, it is small d, the module is small d, DECIMAL is a module, and the method is capital D, DECIMAL, where it is you use capital D. So when you say decimal of 2.675, you get to see the exact value, how it is stored in the computer system. You can see 53 numbers, 53 or 52 numbers after the decimal point. Okay, now you may also, there's one more example, a very interesting example. Now suppose you are counting 0.1 10 times, you must get 1, right? You must get the answer as 1. Let's see, you're just running a for loop and you're trying to sum 0.1 10 times. You're not getting 1, you're getting 0.99999. Okay, so do you see the difference, like how the numbers are stored actually in the system? Now another example, 0.1 plus 0.2. What are you expecting? 0.3, right? But you see 0.3004. Same way 0.1, this the 0, if you try to print the decimal of 0.1, you will get to see what's seen on the screen. So what I am trying to say is, though you are storing the value, let's come back to our example. So though we are trying to store the value a is equal to 12.3, b is equal to 12.3, you don't know how 12.3 is stored in the system. Okay, you don't know how the 12.3 of a is stored in the system, you don't know how 12.3 of b is stored in the system. Maybe there is a difference in one digit among those 52, 53 digits which is there after the fraction, after the decimal point. So because of that, you get different locations. Hope I am very, very clear. So when you say a is equal to 12.3, it is stored in that you have that 52 numbers after the decimal point. Again, when you say b is equal to 12.3, it is stored with that 52 numbers after the decimal point. So there may be a difference in some digit, so it's getting stored in two locations. That is why, because there is a difference in digits after the decimal point. After the decimal point, okay, not before the decimal point. After the decimal point, because there is a difference in digits, this is stored in two different locations, and that is why you get to see the ID different. Hope I am very, very clear. So when you even check for 12.3, ID of 12.3, that's again in some other location. Why? Because there is a difference between the digits that is stored after the decimal point. Okay, 12 point after that. So hope I am very, very clear why you are getting different IDs. Now I come back to the last slide. So here I have given the link of the content, I have link of the page I have referred to in internet. So it is from python.org. So I'm attaching that link here so that you can, suppose you don't follow what I've said, you can once again go and read it for yourself. Thank you so much. Hope I'm clear.